Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Serge Langi, Serge Langi writes, given the symbiotic relationship between studios and theaters, is it incumbent upon the likes of Disney and Warner to help out the cinemas and their beleaguered employees at this time? It's broadly accepted that the VOD or streaming model cannot generate the profits that a theatrical run can for a release. So, should the studios help out the distributors, as the survival of one is inextricably linked to the survival of the other? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Serge. And, we've been talking about that a little bit, that topic here on the John Campea Show about there was an article by a bunch of financial analysts in Los Angeles saying they don't see how like an AMC Theaters is going to survive this. It's a razor thin margin business already, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And, Rob, you and I kind of thought, and we said on the show last week that we kind of believe at some point maybe the studios themselves who know they don't have a business if the movie theaters aren't there may probably step in. Well, one of the other people calling for not only the government, but the studios themselves to step in and intervene because they understand the importance of the movie theaters is one of the most celebrated filmmakers in the world right now, Christopher Nolan. Now, Nolan, this comes from a report on Deadline talking about Nolan's stance. Nolan called movie theaters a vital part of social life, providing jobs for many and entertainment for all. He added, as a filmmaker, my work can never be complete without those workers and the audiences they welcome. The movie-going experience has for generations been reinforcing the notion that we're all in this together, Nolan wrote. He called on the studios for strategic and forward-thinking partnership from the studios. All right, so that comes to us from Christopher Nolan, talking about how even as a filmmaker, somebody who is embedded in the studio system himself, he is saying we recognize that without the theaters, we got nothing. We got nothing without the theaters. And so studios, and Serge put it very, very well in his email, saying, there is a symbiotic relationship between the studios and the theaters. One cannot exist as they are without the other. So it does kind of become incumbent upon, and in their own survival best interests, I believe, if things get to that point, that studios may need to step up and say, we need to figure something out to support the other half of our business relationship, which are the movie theaters, to help get them through this. Now, of course, Christopher Nolan was also talking to Congress and wanting Congress to make sure that they include the movie theater industry as a part of any aid package, making the argument that this is a basic culture kind of thing. This is a part of saving our culture in many ways. And anyway, Rob, you see what's happening with the movie theaters right now, given the situation, and you hear the words of a Christopher Nolan. Do you think Christopher Nolan's onto something here? Do you think that's what needs to happen, or is he overlooking some things? Are there other options on the table that we're not considering? What do you think about all this?
Well, no, I think he's absolutely right about this. And it's like, look, movie theaters, all movie making is part of an ecosystem. And distribution, look, obviously you need to make great films. But films aren't going to get seen if there's no distribution. And distribution isn't just streaming, it's everything. It's still physical media. But first and foremost, the front line of distribution is movie theaters. And movie theaters are delivering a product, and that product might be projected with light flickering on a screen, but it's still a product to be consumed. And you have to have movie theaters and all the other support systems that allow, where do you think movie theaters get their popcorn and their candy and their soda from? They get them from other distributors that sell those things. And it's a huge lattice work of different kinds of industries that are all feeding into delivering an entertainment experience. And I think he's absolutely right. And there's a wide-reaching amount of industry and things that support movie exhibition that needs to be protected as well. So like every other business that has far-reaching tendrils out into the society at large, movie theaters are worth preserving. And let's face it, like Nolan said, at the end of the day, movie theaters are delivering joy and fun and uplift to the population. And that's in itself is worth protecting.
Well said. Well said. Question here is, guys, what do you think about that? Do you think kind of saving movie theaters at this point is some kind of charity? Do you see it as being vital to the industry and a vital part of our culture? How do you see all that right now? Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.